Hi, good day, everybody. This is Angie Liu from the Gary Wong team at McDonald Realty. And today we have a special guest that I just am here to chat with. His name is Alex Pang. He is the mortgage broker. He does residential and commercial mortgages. He's from Clear Trust Mortgage. And here we are. Hello. Good morning, Alex. How are you?
Morning. How are you?
Oh, not too bad. Trying to get the lighting right into this office here. Yeah. Your office looks nice and clean.
Oh, I've done a lot of cleaning before this.
That's good. That's good. Could you just, introduce yourself to the world here and tell us a little bit about you?
Yeah, so I've been in the mortgage industry for 10 years.
Okay.
Um, through our company is one of the largest firms in BC.
Mm.
Personally, I've won awards since 2016 for sales excellence. Not to puff myself up, but
We
um,
want to know. We want to know.
a lot of business, helped a lot of clients. Ultimately, the awards is to show that I've served many clients and happy returning clients. So hope to do the same, continue to do the same down the future.
Awesome. That's
Yeah.
great. That's great. Well, one of the questions that I have for you today, actually, I've been talking to a lot of people that are just curious about, what's going on during COVID-19, especially specifically first-time home buyers. So could you tell me a little bit about, what's going on with COVID-19? For us in real estate, I think that there's always opportunities for somebody. It really just depends on your particular situation, right? And so, can you tell me a little bit from a mortgage broker's perspective? What does it mean for first-time home buyers right now?
Yeah. Since COVID came down, the market kind of came, uh, went through a tumultuous time where
Hmm.
interest rates were fluctuating, a whole bunch of news coming down, and everyone's in a mad panic.
Hmm.
So from an interest rate perspective, what we've seen pre-COVID, interest rates were actually coming down as kind of lockstep with the stock market kind of crashing or going down.
Hmm.
And what happened was the Bank of Canada actually stepped in to help stem that bleeding, to prop up the economy. So
Yeah.
to be not overly technical, is they propped up the economy by buying back government bonds, which
Mm.
govern fixed rates. And what that did was it actually raised rates for a short period of time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Once the dust has all settled over the past couple of weeks, the discounts have actually come back and rates have actually started coming back. So just like everyone's emotional state, the first initial weeks of mad panic and how is life going to change, now we're kind of in the new normal now, so everything is kind of the new normalcy while we're all stuck at home.
Right, right. Yeah,
Yeah.
that is a huge thing. That's actually one of the things that has sparked people's interest to have a conversation with somebody like myself and be like, hey, is it a good time to buy because the interest rates are looking pretty low right now?
Mhm.
How about, we're hearing a lot of things that it's harder for people to get mortgages and stuff like that, especially first-time home buyers. So how has that process changed?
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's exclusively difficult for first time buyers, but
Okay.
most people in general,
All right.
especially in the banking sector. Um, a lot of people are being laid off, especially personal
Mm,
service workers, physiotherapists, not laid off, but not working, like dentists, massage therapists, and such. And
right.
because of that, banks have been not lending to those people because of no job or lack of revenue.
Right.
However, there are a few that have actually been allowing, like, still giving mortgages to those people, uh,
Right.
as long as those who are temporarily laid off have a guaranteed return to work, like a job letter that verifies that. Now,
Gotcha.
that's not to say that it's like that across the board, but because the government mandating of banks, not mandating, but getting banks to offer mortgage payment deferrals. Just
Mm,
imagine tens of millions of dollars of lost revenue for the banks,
yeah.
right? They've had to tighten up their their lending policies because there's just not that much money flowing around, right? So yeah, it's become a little more challenging in today's environment to qualify for a mortgage for sure.
Okay. Are you still getting a fair amount of people coming to you and talking to you about mortgages at this time?
It's definitely slowed down a bit. I think
Hmm.
everyone is a lot of people are in the wait and see mentality.
Right.
People are very concerned about their job situation, either their their pay has been cut or they've just been laid off altogether. There are other people like dentist clients, massage therapist clients. They're just not working. And good
Right.
thing. A couple of days ago, Premier Horgan mentioned that there's a slow restart plan, and it
Right.
includes them, and
Mm.
which is good news for them. But it's not going to
Yes.
happen right away. It's going to be
Right.
slowly, right? So
Right.
I think I wouldn't say we're out of the woods yet, but
Hmm.
we're kind of slowly coming out of it. That people are antsy, want to get out, and there is some sort of pent up demand, right? The people
Yes,
who
for sure.
are buying and selling right now are the ones who are really need to do it, whereas more of the casual buyer or the move up buyer or the ones who are not, I would say, what's the word, like in dire need, they're kind
Mm.
of holding off. So that's kind
Okay.
of what we're seeing right now.
Okay. Because for us too, we have a handful of clients that actually see opportunity in this market just because a couple of things, like there's just way less competition out there right now. So, if you, even though the listings are maybe not as much, at least if you're kind of going out there, there's an opportunity that we do have buyers and sellers that are actually out there right now. They just see an opportunity to upgrade at this point in time and maybe snag a little bit of a better deal, hopefully.
Mhm.
Um, in terms of down payments and things like that, so I've spoken to some people and they're like, okay, how much down payment are you kind of looking at? And some of them are still looking at the 5% down payment. How are those looking?
Yeah, down payment's a difficult thing these days, especially in the cost of living we have in being in Vancouver.
Mm-hmm.
Most of the time, it's the same rules as normal. Like lenders will either look at the down payment history, either being 30 to 90 days in your account, or
Right.
many times these days it's gifted down payment from family,
Mm.
mom and dad with a job gift letter, or proceeds from the sale of the property. So you'll need a
Right.
firm contract to confirm that, and couple it with the current mortgage statement. Then we can see how much that money, the proceeds, are being used for the next purchase.
Right, right. Now, how about for people that are buying, let's say it's a couple and they, some of them, one of them is on like maternity leave or something like that, but they do have a job that they will be going back to. How does that look? Is there an opportunity for folks like that?
Yeah, lenders are still accepting people who are maternity leave,
Okay,
provided there's a guaranteed return to work date. We
okay,
just need a job letter stating that return. So lenders have been pretty good accepting regular income from that.
okay, okay. So people with some regular income flow and things like that are still looking pretty good.
Yeah.
All right.
What's lenders have been adapting to is that they've actually tightened up with their guidelines. They used to allow only like 30 to 60 days of the job letter and pay stub, but now
Mm-hmm.
because of job uncertainty, they're
Right.
actually requiring the most recent pay stub, something within 14 days, and
Oh, okay.
a job letter within 14 days, and they will actually call it verify.
Mm,
Where some may not have done in the past, they're actually doing it right now to make sure that they still have a job and there's no, like, the prospect of them being laid off is not there.
I see. I see. Is there anything else particular or special that you've come across in this particular market at this time?
Mm, I recently did a deal for a commercial client. He's a dentist, and
Okay.
like a lot of the dentists, they've had to close their doors because
Mm,
of COVID and not
right.
most of his own. And at the same time, a few years ago, he bought a pre-sale commercial space,
Mm,
and it's closing, and he's using that space to build out his new practice. So he needs financing.
mm,
But right now, he's
right.
closed. He has no revenue, and he came to me and our team because he tried to go it alone, and he tried to go through his own bank, but he
Right.
at the dead end because they weren't giving him financing, even though he was normally in normal circumstances he would have been a great client, great cash flow, everything. But
Yeah.
as right now there's no revenue, they were
Mm,
not approving him. And
mm,
thankfully we have uh, key relationships with banks, and we were able
mm.
to get him approved and get him 100% financing,
Oh, wow.
a
That's
renovation
fantastic.
loan to help build out the space. So
Wow.
yeah,
Okay.
so I was like, oh, that's great, because these days with dentists, like most of them are getting approved otherwise. So the
Yeah.
I mean, couldn't have been kind of worse for him, but we are
Yeah.
able to get that done for him.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
that's fantastic. So it sounds like commercial side is still kind of active and
Yeah,
moving.
yeah. Commercial's still active. I'm thinking more on difficulties now for just for landlords because we're like I'm a landlord myself, and
Mm-hmm.
we understand what's happening in the market with job losses and stuff like that. Um,
Mm-hmm.
they're not able to evict or raise rent during this time, which is understandable. But I
Right.
do see a kind of a um, unintended consequence where you'll see renters take advantage of that, and
Mm.
once
Mm.
good renters, they'll just not pay rent and stuff like that.
Mm.
Obviously these issues can be resolved with proper screening up front, but you know
Right.
important to maintain proper communication with your renter and stuff like that. So,
Right. Right. No, absolutely. So I just wanted, you did mention, so your dentist client kind of went to the bank and didn't work out. So can you tell me a little bit about the differences between yourself as a mortgage broker and service from the bank?
well, we actually provide business to the bank as well. So it's not saying
Okay.
we're just competing against us.
Right.
Oftentimes, when you go to a bank, you're just dealing with the bank, and the bank rep is working for the bank.
Mm,
So, really, their first right of duty is to make money for the bank, right? Uh,
absolutely.
as a mortgage broker, as an independent person, I have access to multiple lenders, and
Mm,
when people come to me, my first duty is to serve people, buyers, clients,
right.
right?
Right.
So it's my duty to find the best option for them. It could be ABC Bank, XYZ Z credit union, whatever. It's just for me thinking for the best for my client there.
Okay.
Yeah, my
And
services, for the most part, there's no cost to the for the general public.
mhm.
Only difficult cases and even commercial deals, we would have to charge clients in those cases. But yeah,
Okay.
for the most part,
Okay.
yeah, my services are free.
Oh, that's wonderful to hear. Um, does it make a difference? Like, how many lenders are you on average, like approximate? I know that may change from time to time, but like, how many lenders are you talking about that you have access to?
I have about 20 to 30. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. And then each lender is not built the same. So each one specializes in different areas, have
Okay.
different policies and different products, obviously different rates, but each client situation, we have an idea where to place them.
That's
So
great. That's
yeah.
great. Because of the way I look at it too, like the banks, their primary job is to be safe, and their underwriting and how they conduct their business is to make sure that their business stays afloat and well. And as well, they have different portfolios. So to me, mortgages for them may only be a percentage of the portfolio. So they
Mhm.
adjust to the business as per the market. Whereas I see it as you're working with certain lenders, and maybe even some of those lenders, their job is to just lend.
Mhm.
So it makes them a little bit more motivated to, work with clients.
Yeah, exactly. Like a lot of lenders that we work with, they may not be well known to the general public because they don't
Right.
advertise. They deal exclusively through mortgage brokers
Mm,
because we face clients directly,
yeah.
and because they don't have that bricks and mortar branches, they don't do any advertising. They can pass on the savings to consumers, and
Okay.
that's the value that we have. Um, at the same time, banks, I mean, they want to compete too. They own the large majority share of the mortgage market in Canada,
Right.
and contrary to popular belief, mortgages for them is not a huge um, like moneymaker for them. They use
Yeah.
it as more like what the term is called loss leader, to bring clients into their umbrella and cross sell them in other products like
Right.
TFSAs, mutual funds, credit cards, lines of credits, and so on and so
Mm,
forth. Yeah,
okay.
yeah,
And as well, the difference I think with yourself and somebody from a bank is your knowledge is a little bit more specialized. So your creativity and how you serve your clients. Can you tell me a
yeah,
little bit more about that?
yeah. Definitely. Being a real estate investor myself, I've been buying my first home like as far back as 15 years ago. So I've been through the
Wow.
process. So
Yeah.
um, you know, e- every client I walk through, I've been in the same boat, and clients that I work with are in my boat too, where moved a few times, built up some equity, looking to use that equity to invest. and
Mm-hmm.
I want to follow the same thing. And I just tell people, share with people what I've done myself. And
Right.
I don't prescribe to people something that I wouldn't do myself. So yeah, that clients have been really trusting in myself and my team that way.
Oh, that's fantastic. Yeah, that's great. Yeah, that creativity and that understanding is just, I think it's really important, especially, going back to kind of first time home buyers and stuff and having not gone through that for before. Even for ourselves when we serve them in real estate too, we aim to be able to hopefully answer the questions before they even know they need to ask it, right? So partnerships with folks like yourself, mortgage broker, and having the creativity and understanding for clients are super important. So I just want to thank you so much for your time today, Alex, and I hope that we'll be able to chat again. If anybody has any questions, alexpang.ca is his website. You can get a hold of him through his website, through his phone, or of course you can click on my link and I will have Alex's info there as well. So thank you so much for spending the time today, Alex, and for all that great information.
Great. Thanks, Angie. Thanks for having me.
All right, we'll talk to you soon. Cheers.